Opening day 2013 of the WWL Quackers Terrapins, and before the game, Tim Anderson would draw out the first pitch. You know it's a big deal when TA's out there on the mound. Quackers early on would struggle in the first couple innings, a lot of strikeouts, and for the Terrapins, more of the same as they could not find the ball, and when they did, Cody Hammond would be there to help out, a good addition for the Quackers. 4-2 going into the fourth until Regis Pollard gets a hold of one, hits a home run, and that would start things off for the Quackers as Shelton go yard as well. Later in the game, Cody Hammond, that's a grand salami, and the Quackers would roll for this one as they score 17 runs the last 2 innings. They win this one 28-2. Game 2, Heat vs. Senators, battle of the new teams. Bases loaded for the Heat in the first. Steve Gaffney would unload them as they mercied the Senators in the top half, and a pitching change in the next inning to Kevin Hammond. It wasn't better. There was Kotcher, then Joe Cap, and he's got a brother named John. They would all go deep. The Senators struggling pitching and on offense, and when they put the ball in play, the Heat were there to make the necessary plays. Kotcher had a no-hitter going into the fourth, and Alex Hall, he'd break it up like a bad habit, as that would be the only hit for the Senators, as the Heat would mercy them in 4 by a score of 30-0. Game 3, Bombers versus the Workhorses. This one was tight for a while as the Bombers bases loaded in the first, and Mike Anderson would get out of the jam. In the second, Workhorses up 3-0 with the bases loaded, and Sean Anker would ground out. The Bombers maintained a close game, but couldn't get anything rolling on offense as Mike Anderson was pitching a gem. In the third, Ben Anastasi, he'd add 3 for the Workhorses lead with a home run shot of his own. Matt Hines in the top half trying to get things going, but Mike Anderson had other ideas. He'd make one heck of a grab. We're going to take another look. This thing goes off his hands, off his arm, staying away from the ground, and he'd cradle it like a newborn baby as he'd get the out, and the Workhorses would get out of the jam. In the fourth, the Bombers would get their only run off forced errors by the Workhorses. They'd end up throwing this thing around. In the fifth, Chris Peterson would go into pitch, and it was no different as Mike Hackett would hit a grand slam. They'd score 11 in the fifth, and Mike Anderson put it into cruise control. Workhorses take this one 18-1. Final game of the day, Suns versus Lightning. Jake McWilliams draws a walk in the first. Not to be confused with Richard Simmons. And the rest of the Suns team would also draw a lot of walks as Matt Condam struggled to find the zone, and they would score 7 in the first. The Lightning also taking advantage of poor pitching as Adam Pratt would let up 7 in the first, struggled to find the zone. In the next inning, pitching changed to Josh Neff, and Trevor Swan would take advantage as the Suns would score 7 more, and the Lightning, well, it just never struck as they could not hit the ball at all. And the Suns, after one win last season, Adam Pratt with a grand slam, they were feeling it, folks. And this play to end the game, you know everything is rolling when you're making catches like these. The play of the day, the Suns would dominate and win this one 29-9.